Alrighty guys, welcome. Smash the likes, guys. Smash those likes. Alright, ladies and gents, hope we're all doing well. I think it is pretty much time to get the show on the road, even though there's only 3 people currently watching on YouTube. Nonetheless, we will get started in just 2 seconds. Alrighty guys. Alright, let's get the show on the road. As always guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome, both YouTube and TikTok. Again guys, smash the like button, smash the screen on TikTok. Looking forward to another big session. Been killing it. Been in really good form of late, and again, just following the plan, sticking to the rules on a day-by-day basis and getting the results done in the end. So looking forward to see what we can come up with moving forward into today's session. Let's quickly just have a look and check out what we've got in the way of news. There is anything that may impact our session here today. So obviously Chinese New Year, so it's bank holiday over in China. Nothing really in regards to our particular session. Spanish unemployment won't really impact anything that we look at, to be honest, so not so concerned by that. Moving forward into New York session, what we can see is there's a little bit more news of significance. So we've got durable goods orders that may have a little bit of an impact. Won't expect too much to come out of that, but consumer confidence later on is something that you need to be wary of if you are trading into NY session today. As always, anything could break. We need to again just keep an eye out on things. But anyway guys, without further ado, let's get into what we do best and have a look at the analysis on both GJ and gold. Start with gold. In the meantime guys, anyone has any requests or any questions, feel free to get send those into the chat in both TikTok and YouTube, and I'll eventually get to those. But let's get cracking guys. Looking at the gold, looking at the weekly time frame area of interest, and we are just hovering above it at the moment. So we've wicked below it, but we'll see if we've formed support on the minor time frames above it, and if we're starting to begin to form some structure potentially to the upside on the minor time frame. So still based off that previous weekly candle, I'm calling it strong bullish. Down to the daily time frame, what we can see is we had a really strong rejection on that previous daily candle, closing back bearish, closing below the resistance here to the left hand side, closing bearish, engulfing. So based off that, if we were to begin to break the low of that previous daily candle, I feel there's a high probability that eventually we come back down to retest this resistance we broke out, which isn't all that far to the downside. You're talking some maybe 40 pips max to the downside, but that would be a potential first target. So let's just mark in a current daily low and the current daily high and see what we've got either side of it. We know structurally it does remain bullish, but with counter probabilities at this stage to the downside. Onto the 4 hour, and what we can see is we are technically, I'd argue we're still technically bullish, but I'd understand if people were now seeing it as a bearish structure. But I'd probably argue that you really need to be below this wick and this bearish candle, which is going to be some support on the 30-minute and 15-minute time frame. So with respect to that level, so therefore still going to call it bullish. What I'm going to do is mark in the resistance, which lines up with, the support, which lines up with some resistance here to the left on the 4 hour. Change that to gray. We'll have another level just here on the 30. I'll mark that in the 15. And to the upside, I mean, we're well off it, so I don't need to worry about so much for the time being. I'll also mark in some further support around that 27.20 sort of region. Onto the 30-minute time frame, and you can start to adjust this zone a little bit. And what I can see here guys is, so structurally it's bearish within the current daily. So in the current daily, we're actually forming a weak bullish candle. What we've done, we're just consolidating to create the high of the day. And this is where we're going to mark in the resistance. It's likely going to be the highest point of the 15-minute level, which we'll check in a second. Also going to mark in the low of the day. And this rate, it looks likely we're going to be looking for options either side. So as I mentioned on stream yesterday, what we need to see is, first of all, price break those levels, whichever one it looks like, well, whichever one it breaks, decides to break. This rate looks like it could be coming down to break the low. Then what we want to see is the closure, the pullback, the retest, the continuation. The reason being is because the amount of times I've seen it do this, where it may go down to break the low of the day during a London session, and only for it to pull back up and end up trending bullish. It's uncanny the amount of times it will do it. So I need to be spot on with it and await a closure, retest, and if we begin to pull away from that zone that we've just broken, that would give me enough of a confirmation to look for a potential sell upon continuation. Now let's quickly look at the 15. I'm still quite comfortable with that entry. You could adjust that a little bit, but we'll just use the daily low, and we want to see some closures below it. So we're going to put sells below as potential entries. Obviously to the upside, we are forming a little bit of structure within the current daily candle. We formed that low towards the end of yesterday. We've since bounced up, created the high for the day, created a higher low, and if we respect this support and begin to pop back above, then for me, I'd be contemplating my options to look for a potential buy. So also at that point there, what we will have is, let's just quickly look at it on the 4 hour. We'll have the current, wow, if it does happen, well, it's not going to happen in the current 4 hour, about to close, but we'll be breaking above the 4 hour most recent resistance, which was formed at, well, we formed support at previous resistance here to the left. We'll be popping above the most recent resistance formed at the daily high. Above that level, we're starting to pop above this support as well. In my opinion, there's a high probability if we get the same sort of confirmation as what we wait for to the downside, that closure, retest, continuation, for me that would be a nice option to look for a buy. Now anything in between, we'll wait and see. I mean, I might contemplate some buys from support. Right now it looks like we potentially could have the margin. We made a relatively clean move down, but yeah, we don't want to muck about just now. We really like for it to pop back down to the support, begin to consolidate, and then potentially look for our options as we begin to pull away from consolidation. To the upside, it's vice versa. What we want to see is a clean move up. If we do reject the daily high, even if we pop above it, only to close back below it, we could also contemplate some options for sellers if that is to eventuate. So we'll put the sells below in. So we're looking at really either side of the current daily candle for our entries at the moment. And we'll also put the buys from support in, knowing that it is an option so long as we get the right catalyst from those levels. And I will go over what sort of catalyst I'd like to see at those levels. Well, when we could get an option present. So that is gold, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Please smash the like button if it did. TikTok, you guys hit that screen for me. Thank you for all the new followers. And let's quickly move on to have a look at GJ. So we've got a couple minutes left till the EU Open, when we could expect a bit of volume to pop in. And all right, so looking at GJ, what we can see is similar to gold. So the previous weekly, as I mentioned yesterday, bullish engulfing, very strong bullish candle. Current weekly has pulled that back significantly into that previous weekly. Obviously we've tapped into and probably broke below the 50% just, and look what we've done now though. We're heading back up. So again, we're going to mark in that previous weekly candle's high. We begin to break above it. There was a high probability we could continue to the upside. We've pulled back significantly enough to suggest that this could potentially be the lowest point of the current weekly candle if we were to now continue bullish. On to the daily. We do remain bearish in structure, and we also have that very, very strong previous daily bearish candle. However, we are currently pulling back quite significantly into that candle. So we'll probably come down to what we've got within the current candle, guys, as to what sort of levels we've got. Because if we were to pull back to those levels within this candle, we'll look for options of a buy from support. If we pull back only to begin to pop below those levels of support, would be us looking for sales to take it back down towards low and maybe eventually below that previous daily low. So structurally it's bearish. Current candle is forming a strong bullish candle against a very strong bearish candle. Onto the 4 hour. and it does remain bullish. It has respected the last significant higher low. It's tapped into it, it's bounced off it. So we've got the weekly and the 4 hours bullish. It just looks like we're kind of exhausting though. That previous candle was a weak bullish candle. Let's just mark in the low of that candle. See what we've got once we go down to the 30-minute time frame. As far as resistance, just going to mark in the most recent. I know we've got a level just above it. I'll worry about that if and when need be. On to the 30, guys. Let me see, am I going to keep that in? Let me just quickly look at the 15. If the 15 days of bearish wick, I'm going to keep that zone as is. Yep, it is. So you could adjust this though, because it is clean on the 30. All right, so the 30-minute structure, it's a tricky one. Because technically you could say it's bullish so long as it remains above this point here. You could have said it flipped bearish here yesterday, which I actually did say on stream. Irrespective of that, no, it would be bearish if that was to be the case. It's in between, guys. It's hard because you're kind of sitting on a fence here. Look, I'm still calling it bearish. I have to pick, so I'm still calling it bearish. So therefore, that gives us a neutral bias on GJ. So I can look to trade it in either direction. So at the current daily low, we have formed some support. That current daily high, we have formed some resistance. Very similar analysis is going to be to gold. Want to see what happens when price begins to pop below the daily low or above the daily high, and contemplate my options either side of that at this point. Just a narrow range, just consolidating. So there's not likely going to be any option at the current level, nor am I likely going to look for any impulse entries. Just going to patiently wait to see what happens if and when we pop above the higher low. It's likely going to happen because there isn't much, doesn't have to travel that far to actually do so. And that is likely what we're going to be looking at. Now, further options will all depend on which direction we trend in. If it is to the upside and we were to reject, then I could contemplate sells from resistance, and vice versa on buys from support. But just focused on the current levels, and that is what I'd be looking at on the GJ. Buys above, that should be sells below. Let me change that. So guys, smash the like button if that made sense. YouTube, need you guys to help me out. Really need you guys to help me out. We've been killing it on the stream, we just don't get enough love. TikTok, how are we, guys? First of all, YouTube, Beats, good morning to you. Sketchmas, Jay, hope you're well, brother. Welcome, guys. TikTok, everyone, sorry. Let me have a quick look. What have I missed? Thank you for all the new followers. Dip in deep seek. Good healthy dip. Yep. That was from STY Christ 3. Keenan, what am I trading? Gold and GJ. At the moment I'm looking at GJ. James, can I check something for you? What would that be? Moonwell? I have no idea what Moonwell is, mate. I apologize. Again, this is more a Forex stream. So feel free to ask questions, guys. I go into deep analysis and educational mode as well if I do get asked questions. Members, the link has just been sent as well. Had a really good education session with the members yesterday evening, my time. Been going over a series of grading our entries, the most probable to still probable but more risky, and yeah, grading all the entries. It's been really good. Thank you for the follows. All right, so gold's not quite tapped into the support just yet. We've got EU open at the moment. So my current concern is if we did form support at this point here, would this just be a bit of a pause before we actually tap into the support, then create that move back up? So if we were to form support just here, likely not going to give me the option. I may need to wait for a little bit more confirmation for any potential entry. GJ, interesting, just needs to now choose which direction. So GJ not looking all that bad as well, guys. YouTube, I'm probably going to end the stream shortly. It's just, there's no point. I have no idea what's going on with YouTube anymore. Appreciate all the new follows, TikTok. I appreciate you guys. Welcome. Again, guys, feel free to ask questions. Let's try to keep it Forex related. I know a lot of you are asking me about cryptos. I have no idea about crypto, to be honest, other than a few particular coins. I can analyze high cap coins. I'm not going to bother with some meme coin or something. All right, so gold popping up at the moment, all good. There was no confirmation for me to take a buy. Very weak closure of 15. Usually it's not a bad sort of entry signal, that potential morning star pattern. But again, just a little bit concerned because we broke below that support. I would have preferred for it to tap into this support before looking for that type of confirmation. Again, guys, I'm not looking at some really low cap coin I've never ever heard of. All right, do you give free if I see a trade I like and that I'm going to take, I do call it, of course. Mech, yeah, I do call if I see fit. I mean, we've been on a good win streak, 4 wins last week, started the week well yesterday, all called on stream. So memes going bonkers, are they? Ooh, wow, just knows Bitcoin's going bonkers. That's popped up again. Him, gold, yeah, so gold, looking at this rate, sells from below the daily low, sells from rejection of the daily high, or buys above it. We've just bounced just above a level I wanted to see price tap into, so it's not convinced me, so I'm willing to miss this move and let it do its thing and wait to see what eventuates shortly. Sorry guys, got a bit going on, so just on the phone a little bit at the moment. Do apologize, but yeah, nothing happening at the moment. We are just waiting patiently. Thank you for all the follows on TikTok, YouTube. You guys got to help me out. I've got 5 likes. No wonder there's no one on the stream. Dude, my members on the stream watching, I will be on for the usual Tuesday session, members only session. Will be a little bit earlier today though, so I'll be pre-MY, if that makes sense. There's still plenty of volume though. There's heaps of volume at that point. Often you get some nice moves. Obviously London is still well and truly open. Fabiano, AU, not a problem. Not a problem, my friend. Glad someone's asking about some Forex pairs as opposed to crypto. All right, let's have a look at AU. So once again, let's have a look, and let's look at the weekly time frame, and very similar to the GJ. It's gonna be similar to all the majors. Let's quickly look at GU. Bit of a stronger pullback though on AU at the moment as opposed to yellows. Often tends to happen. No upper wick. Previous candle, strong bullish candle, pulled back to, without measuring in, you can see we're right near that 50%. So let's see if we're going to form some structure and form some support to at the current level. We're currently at a bit of a daily support, which lines up with some resistance to the left. Potential zone that price could bounce off, but once again, once we go down to the more so the 30-minute, we're going to want to see a little bit of structure forming before we can just look, or in my opinion, before we can just look for potential buy. And there's so many ways you can skin the cat. You may just look for limit orders at a certain level. I can totally understand that. So structurally, it's still bullish technically on this closure above, flipping the structure bullish above this resistance, and it will remain bullish until really back below, pretty much near the lows. So structurally on the daily it is bullish, but it does have counter probabilities to the downside. 4 hour, I'd argue it's actually flipped bearish. It is bearish, definitely. Retesting a previous support here to the left. Let's just mark that in. We'll be adjusting it on the 30-minute time frame to the downside. We'll also mark in most recent support to the upside, most recent resistance. Obviously be adjusting these levels a tad. All right, so downside, we've got some clean traffic to the lows. To the upside, what I'm likely going to do is probably just going to use that whole level. And what I'm going to say is, if we remain below it, that is a previous 4-hour support, begin to break below the current daily candles low, the 30-minute support. We've got some pretty clean traffic to the left. Bearing in mind we do have some support a little bit further down, but in my opinion, seeing the daily is forming bearish, seeing that previous daily closed a strong bearish candle, and we do have now lower high, lower low within the current candle. If we were to begin to break the current daily candles low, there's a high probability that we could make another impulse to the downside. So me, I'd be looking for a nice clean closure below, retest, continuation sells. Otherwise, what I'd say is anywhere within this zone, look for resistance to form to look for a sell back down. So anywhere below 62,715, I'll be looking for the sells. If we start to close above that point there, that's when I would contemplate the buy options on AU, because at least at that point we would have flipped 30-minute structure and a closure above, and obviously we would have formed a little bit of structure off these lows if that was to be the case. So that is my opinion of AU. At the moment, I prefer to sell it so long as we remain below 62.70 basically, and that's when my opinion might change a bit. If it does begin to pop above and close above, I'd still look to sell it from higher up at around that 63 flat sort of region. Hopefully that makes sense. I appreciate the effort. Do I trade futures? No. Fabiano, all good, mate. All good. How are you? Hope you're well. CTY Christ 3. Dip in deep seek. Good healthy dip. Donald Trump literally. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Really don't know what he's on about though. But, I respect the guy, so. Anyway, back to gold and GJ. Yeah, so let's focus on GJ at the moment because it looks more closer to a potential entry. Sharif, good morning to you, mate. Sorry, just saw that. TikTok, can you guys actually hear the background music? Just gonna remove that zone for the time being. Use a goal, please. You can hear it, Anna. Thank you, appreciate it. Is it overbearing? Is it a little bit too loud, or is it okay? Is it just right? Yeah, so gold, I've been over it multiple times. For me, at this rate, wasn't trusting buys because we are not quite tapped into the level I wanted it to tap into before looking for my option to buy it from support. So now I'd rather wait and see how price reacts to resistance for potential options to sell it, or if it pops above it, we'll be looking for some buys. If it starts to pop below the support at the daily low, I'd be contemplating my options to sell it as well. So that's just gold in a nutshell. Just right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Anna. Thank you. And welcome. Fabiano, gold buying. Yes, at the moment, looks like it is potentially making a move back up towards the daily high. User, not a problem, mate. Not a problem. No name, buys or sell GJ at the moment. We're right in the middle of consolidation, so it just depends on what which direction it wants to break. And seeing it's coming from consolidation, I think I need to wait for the confirmation of the closure above or below the retest continuation, whichever direction it decides to move in. What time frames? More so to 30 on GJ. I do look at 15 occasionally at 5. Gold, it's more so, again, it's probably more so to 15, but also look at the 30, the higher time frames as well, just to get a general direct understand where we are on the chart, the overall picture, and also the structure itself. Because it is best to trade in line with the trend, but as a scalper, when I see opportunities to trade against it, I will take it. I don't think you need to be fixated on just following one particular direction. You need to be fluid in the markets. Tell me more into, mate. G was 27 pips from TP on gold. Oh wow, yeah. It's tough, mate. It's tough. Franco, good morning to you, mate. So Fabiano's waiting to enter a sell on GJ. That's fair enough. Once again, thank you for all the follows. Probably gonna full port sells on GJ. No. Yeah, it is. Joked about full margin entries a couple of weeks back, but no such thing on this stream. We practice proper risk management. Guys, both YouTube and TikTok, feel free to share the stream if you like. Again, much appreciated. Let's quickly look at what else is on the agenda news-wise moving forward this week. So we got high impact news for the Aussie dollar tomorrow. So CPI figures. For those who have followed me for quite a while now, will know exactly what I think of CPI. It's a big fat lie. That's all it is. Absolute crock of shit. It's a lot higher than that. Shitload higher. And the thing is, they're targeting 2%. All these Western economies. Why not target 0%? That's my argument. Why target 2%? 2% is growth. It means prices are going up. We should be targeting 0%. It's an absolute crock of shit. Moving forward, high impact news for the pound also tomorrow. That is later in the day for those in the UK. High impact CAD news. Obviously FOMC, so big one will be Wednesday late into MY session, early morning my time. We've got Friday, also into late Thursday, high impact EU news. Also got high impact USD news. And Friday we have German CPI, so that's a big one, along with unemployment cost and core PCE. So that core PCE is also another big gauge of inflation, so that's going to be a big one. So always need to be wary of the news, guys. User entry buy. There's no entry for me just now. Again, gold, my plan was for it to wait for it, sorry, for it to come down to 27, 30, 38, 39 and bounce off that level. And it's obviously bounced from a little bit higher up, so now I'm just waiting to see how it reacts to some resistance. Right, so we're coming to 30 minutes prior to London Open, guys. We're still below resistance on GJ. Gold is pretty much in the middle of this minor range at the moment, so there is nothing right now. We just need to patiently wait a little longer. See probably where we're at for London Open. GBPJPY. Absolutely butcher that name, I'm sure. Buy now. No buy now for me. Yeah, I'm just patiently waiting. You know, I know when I've got my catalyst. At the moment, I don't have it. Yesterday it came about 30 minutes into the stream where we got a really nice signal to take an entry on GJ, and it was a nice quick easy win without any drawdown. Today it's taking a little bit longer to have anything present, so again, I know when it's right time for me in accordance to my plan, my rules, and right now it's not. I just need to patiently wait. Engulf pattern, yeah, it is an engulfing candle, but we're at resistance and it's tapped into target. This engulfing candle is tapped into what would be my first target? Sean, good day to you, mate. Welcome. So I definitely agree with your signal. As far as a catalyst to enter, I just not that level. Sure, no, not yet, not today. Today's so far we're just chilling.
Hey guys,
Hey mate, how are you?
doing all right? How about you?
Nice one, brother. Yeah, all good, all good. What's the plan for today?
Today, I'm looking for some sell opportunities on EU.
Yep, you?
Though it's a little bit choppy,
You're looking at...
but I reckon I can get something out of it
Yeah,
due to the structure. Also, EU EJ looks like it presents some options for buys, though I'm not really into it. I'm looking more of the sales on the sell side because of the structure as well.
yeah.
Because the structure is like kind of bearish.
Yeah, it does
So
look decent for the buys at the same time, but you're right, structure is bearish. You got that strong bearish candle on the previous daily as well.
yeah, I think the 4 hours bearish, the early is
Structure, yeah.
bearish as well. So
Yeah. So you're waiting for some resistance to form, and or if not, wait for it to pull back, form resistance, and sell it with more margin from up near the highs.
I think even right where it is, I'm suspecting like it's just trying to bait some entries to the upside, and it will flip right from that position. Because if you look, it's tapping into that
Tapping into
that area to the left. So
yeah, it's whipped into it multiple times only to reject.
yeah. So I'm just looking at it. Let's see what happens. If I can get the bearish engulfing from there,
Yeah,
I'll
that'd
take
be
it.
perfect.
Otherwise, if it gets to the high also, the better.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
either way, I'm not really looking to buy within this area because it just looks like a trap to me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I understand exactly why you think that. So that's it. You got your plan now. Just need to wait for it to present, and sure you're good at that either way. So
Yeah.
nice one, mate.
Thanks. How is the year so far going?
Yeah, much better after that poor beginning. Been on a nice little win streak of late, so I think it's 6 in a row. So bounced back really strong, and yeah, so far so good. January's going to end up, by the looks of it, a decent month. Start the year in profits, which is again great. So continuing on from last year, and that's really all you can ask for. So just be consistent, see some consistent gains, and yeah, just rinse and repeat. That's all it is, as you know.
Yeah. This week I haven't had anything yet this week, but last week was really great.
Yeah, last week was fantastic.
The first week was good, and then after that I had a very bad week where I think I had like 3 or 4 losses on the spin.
Yep.
And then last week I think I had like 7 trades, 4 wins and 3 break evens. So
Nice one.
it was great. It was great. Last week I didn't have any loss at all. So this week I haven't had anything yet. So let's see how the week goes.
That's it, mate. Just keep at it. I'm sure you'll be right.
Yeah.
Diop, hello from Senegal. Good day to you. From in Melbourne, Australia. From Papa. I enter boss. If you like, you can enter. I don't have an entry at the moment. Anna W. That's what we're hunting for sure. And Dio again, hello to you. We're just patiently waiting, guys. That's all part of trading. You know, patience to sit and wait for your plan to present. And maybe your plan's already presented. And if that's the case and you're taking advantage of it, well done. I applaud you. But for me, I just don't have it yet. So I need to just sit back and chill. Franco J buys look good if the M30 will be broken again. The M30. Yeah, you still got some resistance though. On the 15 anyway. I kind of agree with Mr. Phil in a way. I want it above that point, to be honest. It's rejected it already once, so I'd really like for it to form a bit of structure, pop above it. That type of scenario. I really, really trust it. Gold is reversed, X Prince. Are you meaning to the downside? Apologies guys, I keep looking at the phone. I've got something important going on at the same time, so I need to be in communication with this person while it's happening. X Prince, yes, to the downside. I'm not convinced. Doesn't mean it can't continue down, but to be honest, I think gold is still overall very, very bullish in regards to trading wise. I see it's pretty much neutral bias at the moment, but yeah, as far as long term, I still think gold's going to continue up. Fabiano, yeah, again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do so today, but I personally believe gold will continue. Just waiting on GJ. Yep, GJ's looking good. Sean G looks like it's going to break previous day's candles low. GU, let's have a look at it. I've not looked at that today. looks, yeah, that's low. It is about to break it. It's got no upper wick. Very interesting on GU. But the thing is, and I'll mention this quite often, you'll hear me say on stream, I mentioned it on the weekly on GJ yesterday. Weekly still doesn't have the upper wick, and it doesn't necessarily need to create one. Yes, the probabilities are it will, but it doesn't necessarily need to, so long as pullbacks within it, and in this case it's GU, the daily candle, so long as any pullback within the current daily is met by some resistance. And we've got previous levels of resistance. We've got first level, this point here, level A, we'll call that level B, a little bit higher up. So as long as any pullback to one of those levels price rejects, there's not necessarily a need for us to pull back up to create the upper wick, and we could continue to trend bearish. The thing is with GU, we are approaching some 4-hour support as well, so there is a probability that price could bounce off it and start to become range bound. Maybe retest the high, doesn't necessarily have to, it could just consolidate within this area, no one knows. But it's currently wedged between a 4-hour resistance and support by the looks of it. I mean, you got a little bit of margin if you were to adjust that below the low. It is forming, you know, obviously strong bearish in the current daily candle. You're forming a series of lower highs, lower lows. Approaching that support. Yeah, I'd want to see at least the closure below and the retest, and possibly at London Open. I'd be waiting for the 30. You know, I don't really trust GU on the 15-minute time frame. If you guys have got the data to back it up, by all means. If you've got the data to back it up on the 5-minute, by all means. I've used to trade it. I've not traded for about 2 years, and I used to trade it with success on the 30 more than anything else. Dio, is that any disturb if we join with you? No, you're more than welcome to be on the stream, mate. I appreciate it. Ask questions, and you're not a disturbance at all. If you guys were a disturbance, I would not be on the stream. Sorry guys, what have I missed? Appreciate all the new followers. Yes, gold. Yep, so spoken about gold, it is my preferred asset to trade, gold. At the moment it's just in this pretty much consolidation area now, this range on the 30-minute. So for me, I really want, before I'm looking to trade within it, I want it to come up to the resistance and reject, grab liquidity from the upside around the daily high, and see how price reacts to that level, whether we continue up, retest this resistance, turns to support, and we continue bullish, so a bit like so, or we tap into that level only to reject. I could contemplate my sell options. And the same thing to downside, we've not yet retested a daily low. I want to see price come back down to that support, see how it reacts to it. Potentially could look for the buys, as long as I've got the margin to do so. Sorry guys, speaking too fast, I'm mumbling. Or wait for the closure below, retest, and continuation for potential sells. That is my opinion of gold at the moment. It's just in a holding area. There is nothing for me I can do on gold at the moment. Down 2 times, no opinion of it. Shahid, can we have a look at NU? Todd Stemmer, I like that comment. But boy and dog Bitcoin, that's all we need. I don't know, man. Unbelievable, honestly. Just, if I got a big enough following, I could start a meme coin and could, you know, be worth millions. But it's just such a piss take, in all honesty. But NU, could you possibly explain your last video? Bit slower, it was way too fast for me to understand. I'm not sure which video you're referring to be honest. Alright, so NU, it's likely going to be the exact same as AU. It's kind of the sister pair of the Aussie dollar. They move the exact same way. Just a slightly weaker currency. So looking at it on the weekly, and similar to AU, strong bullish on the previous, but current candle is pulling back quite significantly within that previous candle and forming a bearish candle. Daily structure is also bullish, looks identical to AU. Let's just quickly look at AU. It's the exact same. Back to NU. The daily structure is bullish. We are at some support here. Candle probabilities to the downside. Based on that, we could look to see what's going on within the current daily to see where potentially we could pull back to form a resistance, or if we begin to pop above those resistance levels, what we could potentially target for some buys. Now the 4 hour is at support and it is technically bearish, but it is at support, so I wouldn't necessarily want to sell into support. I'd rather look for my options to buy it. We're just running out of steam, sorry, not consolidating, not yet really consolidated on the 4 hour, but we'll likely would have consolidated on the minor time frame. At this 4 hour support, let's just mark in the resistance. We'll just use that for the time being. So we're bearish in the 4 hour, bearish on the daily structure. Weekly, we're still calling it bullish based off that previous in the 30 minutes bearish. I'd prefer to look for the sell options. I wouldn't necessarily want to sell into this support. Very similar to AU, I'd prefer to get involved below the previous daily candles low, wait for closure below, retest continuation. Otherwise, what I also see is we have formed some area consolidation, and we've closed the 4 hour bullish, weak bullish. So if we begin to pop above this area consolidation, got some clean traffic to the left, Bill could make a deeper pull back above that 56, 7, 14 roughly. So buys above that point there. If it does pull back and make a clear move up to that level only to reject, I'd also contemplate the sell below 56, 70.
Hey, good morning, man.
Hey brother, how are you?
Hey, fine, thank you. I'm a little bit late, sorry.
All good, mate, all good. Haven't missed anything so far, so
That's good.
just waiting, patiently waiting.
Yeah, I'm looking for some sells on GU, but not on the first touch getting down, because when I look to the H4. We have also some resistance there. Yeah.
Just there.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. So, and it's a very hard push to the downside right now. Maybe I will wait if we can. I will get a down move and maybe creating some support and later creating a resistance, and from the resistance then maybe buy it.
Yep. I think that's fair enough.
Because it's on the daily candle, if you look on the daily candle, it's a big move.
Yep.
On the daily candle. So, and maybe we are getting out of steam a little bit.
So you're looking to play a bit of a pullback?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you got the margin. It looks like you got about 22 pips roughly within current range, so potentially.
We're looking also for some gold sells.
Gold sells, I'm looking for, at the moment, just the way it's pulling back or dropping, sorry. If it does pop below support, yes. Yep, so we're just currently consolidating within the range, so there's no real confirmation for me. I just need to wait for price to start to close below. And if we get a nice strong closure below, we're going to be likely entering below this minor support either way, so I'm not so concerned by that. Also breaking the daily low, so I want to see it break, retest, continuation. But I could also contemplate the buy. So this is what I wanted to see earlier, guys. I wanted to pull back and tap into this blue zone. Support at the daily low. What did I mention before, guys? Anyone remember what I wanted to see? Aragson go sell side. Potentially could be going sell side. So I want to see it break the or tap into this and potentially break the low of the daily and see what happens at that level. If we do remain below it, we can look for rejection and continuation sells. If we pop back above it, we can look for a bit of support to form and possibly some continuation buy or some buys to take it back up towards the daily high. So at least we're tapped into the support at that level, so I can now start to contemplate the buys with more confidence. My issue at this point was that maybe it's not going to pop up enough for me to secure some profit before it rejects. It happened to be that it did make enough of a move, but didn't trust it. Now I trust it more, seeing we've tapped into that level. Alright, so we'll keep a bit more of an eye on gold. GJ is just right in the middle of this area of consolidation. Aragson, act everything was down today. Yeah, the markets are, I mean, against the US dollar, everything is moving to the downside. Let's quickly look at a Dixie. I don't really bother, to be honest, because again, for me enough, it's just enough to look at the gold chart. But what we can see is the DXY is moving to the upside. There is a bit of a gap though at this point here for whatever reason at session open. But a Dixie daily open. I often see gaps do get filled. Doesn't necessarily need to happen though. It's not foolproof. It's not 100%. If that's the case, then perhaps the majors are pulling back to form support. We're going to see what sort of levels we've got. We've got majors on major level here on the 4-hour time frame on gold at 27.34. Potentially could pull back to that point before it bounces. Or, I mean, gold could pop up, grab some liquidity. The XY could drop, fill that gap. and then we could all be back at square one. Araxen, it's not something that really should bother anyone, to be honest. I don't need to disclose that information. I've traded bigger accounts in the past, that's for sure. Traded some accounts that are significant enough to see some really good returns, and it's definitely helped me in a long way to secure some, you know, things for the future, some, you know, big things for the future, such as a home purchase, hope to pay off some cars. No, don't worry, it's all good. It's a question you sort of expect to get asked. But having said that, so the most I've traded lot size is about 8 lots, which is nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy at all. Right now I'm not trading that at the moment, no. Building the account up yet again, so I've paid for a lot of things off late. But yeah, don't need to apologize, it's all good. And I trade, at the moment I trade fixed lots, so my risk will vary from usually around, when I go really low risk, so I cut my lot size by a lot, it might be like 1% for that particular trade, and it can float all the way up to about, I mean, sometimes even more than 5%, 5-6% a trade. It's not something I recommend. I recommend considering it only once you're confident enough that you can follow your rules. You have the discipline to act on or react to what you see in accordance to your plan, not what you think will happen, or FOMO. That is probably the best time to start considering fixed lots, because that's when you can start to really build your account. Because if you're using set percent, and by all means do it, it's probably the best way to go about it, especially when you're still learning or 100% confident. Best just to use like a fixed percent per trade, and that your lot size will vary depending on your entry and where your stop loss is. So I would recommend that. But again, I always manage my trades, especially when I know I've gone like a heavy position. I will always manage it. You're right, thank you. Experience, would I sell it by GU? Well, as I mentioned before, I'd rather it close below. Look what's happening just now. It's popping back above. What's remaining above this support. So right now I'd be looking for a rebound to retest 124.50 and potentially sell it from that point if you get the right confirmation. But burst through that level, don't think we really got the margin to take it up to 124.65, so I'd rather wait and see how price reacts to that for a potential sell. And if it does make a nice clean impulse, fantastic. If you can't get involved in the sell, if it pulls back to create that higher low, form some structure, there's your potential entry point. Alright guys, we've got London open, so let's have a look again at GJ and Gold. GJ still below resistance, still in consolidation. Gold is closed at support, not below support. I don't like it when it pops up like that. In all honesty, I hate it when it just pops straight up. I would have preferred for Gold to have done this, and then I would even consider a potential entry. If at the open Gold just melted and actually broke that support lowest point of it, wouldn't be entering. Without the upper wick, I would not be entering. I'd be waiting patiently for it to pull back, tap into this range yet again, and as soon as it does that, it's going to do one of two things. Either grabbing liquidity for it to head back down and can make the move further into the range below, or that's low wick and we're going to end up closing back inside and closing back bullish. So as soon as it pulls back to tap into that level, I'm setting a sell stop back below the lowest point of the London open candle. So it'd be just a tap below that point, and that would be my entry. But when it pops up like that, it's just not my type of entry, to be honest. Erogson, sellers are pushing. Yeah, it's just, again, it's just above the support. So for me, for a clean entry, I would have wanted to, based off just simple price action within the current London Open candle, I would, like I mentioned before, would have wanted it to pop down, then up, then down again. Because of the fact it's not closed below the zone, nor is it closed below 50%. So that's another catalyst for any impulse entry. I wanted to close below from top to bottom, the 50% of that particular zone. We can see it's obviously not done so. So it's a less probable impulse entry if I was to set this sell stop, in my personal opinion. And that's something I've been over with my members. And with grade trades like that, to me, that's like a C grade entry. And I don't accept C grade entries. Mooks, you caught up in that zone. Gold is, yeah, gold's caught up in that zone. GJ is trying to break, but again, look what happens if you took the impulse entry. You'd be 10 pip drawdown right now. Hence why no impulse entries from consolidation, because how do you know which candle is going to make the move? And it still could, but I would not be feeling comfortable right now after dropping. It's just a tag and drag at the moment. You would have been tagged in straight into about 10 pip drawdown. Alright, so preparation, yep. Thank you for all the new followers, by the way. You're right, be patient. Thank you, mate. Ben, good day to you, brother. Glad to see you on the stream. So we'll see where this 15-minute closes and if there is any potential entry on gold. Mooks, liquidity sweeping away. Yeah, potentially, but has it grabbed some more liquidity from the upside? Make the move down. Guts, buy or sell at the moment. Patiently waiting. And it looks like we could potentially get involved in some sell options, but just need to wait for the right confirmation. Now I am wary of this support here to the left. See GJ, see my trade GJ is rejecting, so again, happy to just patiently wait for the right confirmation as opposed to look for any impulse entry, because look at it just now. Once again, you TikTok, thank you for all the follows. Sean, all good, mate. Take care. Which platform, Araxon? This is TradingView. So I like to chart on TradingView. It's just, for me, it's a lot easier. Liquidity sweep this one too, potentially. But TikTok, keep smashing that screen if you could. We're patiently waiting for the right confirmation here on potential entries on gold. It's at a level of interest. I don't yet have any sort of confirmation out to the upside. Gonna require a little more patience, and what I really like to see, if there is any potential catalyst at this rate, is a couple of options here. First one, and the one I prefer to see, is this can actually close strong bullish. And I'm still not entering on the following candle. What I'm patiently going to do is, because for me, that's not a catalyst. It's not engulfing. It's not strong bullish with a high, low, high, high to the previous candle. That previous candle has more volume. So for me, that is not a catalyst in itself. But what may present as a catalyst is if the following 15-minute candle closed weak bearish. You might ask, why does that make it then a catalyst? Because what we have done just there is form resistance at support. So if we are to respect resistance, not really much of a need for us to pop up and break that bearish candle's high. So we create a bit of an upper wick, waiting for it to create a lower wick in either aspect. So, and it could just end up doing this. If it does begin to pop above the high, seeing we've bounced off this support and we're closing in, because bear in mind the 30 minutes going to look like so. So it's going to close pretty strong bullish at support. So on the following candle, wait for a lower wick, and as price begins to break above the M30 high, which is also that previous 15-minute candle's high, so we're breaking the minor resistance, high probability of coming up to this level here around at 27.42, just above that point. And that could be a potential catalyst for me to contemplate some options to buy. Now on the flip side, the other potential catalyst is if this actually does close weak bearish, and it's to be followed by bullish engulfing on the following 15. Once again, it's going to close the M30 strong bullish, not quite engulfing that previous candle, but the 15-minute will be obviously engulfing, so that would be a signal within itself. So they're currently my options. I need to patiently wait on gold. That is free education, guys. Please smash the like button. What I can just see happening on GJ, and how I've mentioned this on pretty much every single stream, guys. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. It's just unfortunate this has happened at a non-tradable level for me. What has happened just here, guys? First of all, what have we done? What can you tell me we've done just here? It's quite obvious. I think I've mentioned on like the last 3 or 4 streams, this price action catalyst. But again, it's not at a tradable level, so I definitely wouldn't consider taking it in this this particular point in time. So what we've done is we've broken a high of that previous candle, and what we had was a high low, higher high, so that bullish candle. Based off counter probabilities, there is no need for us to really pull back and break the low of that bullish candle. If we do so, what that suggests is we've grabbed some more liquidity from the upside, and there's a high probability it will make a move down. The issue for me was targets were just way too close, and it could have easily just rejected. So happens to push straight through it. But once again, take note of it, guys. If you're sitting there on the PC, take a screenshot. That is what I call a liquidity candle trying to rub out with, anyway. Let's grab liquidity from the upside, broken low, and making the move down. So GJ, I'd be definitely waiting for the 30. It's way too big a move based on the 15 to get involved. Probably going to be too big a move in general. Still preferring gold at the moment. Luke, I cannot do that because it's going to get me a ban. So unfortunately, I can't do that. I've kind of worked out what ticks the... I've got to be careful what I say, but yeah, I don't want to get a ban, man. So unfortunately, I can't. I wish I could. Mooks, 66, 27, 37 possibly. Yeah, this support, the minor support, the 15, yep. My slight concern is that level. I mean, even below, let's just put the zone back to where we had it. Even below the current candle's low. Let's just quickly measure it. You don't have 10 pips. Interesting. Interesting. It's popped down. It's popping back up. Breaks its own low again. The issue is the margin. It's just not there. Yeah, the options is gold sells, guys. The options is gold sells. You'd be looking at just below the current candle's low, so you probably need to get in. I mean, it's broken its own low now. I'm too slow to get involved in that. Wow, there is something going on because this is just skipping pips. Yeah, I mean, that was the only option, but bear in mind, if anyone is in a current sell, you really need to get to break even quickly because we've got some support. I'm not in this. just not trusting it until we hop a lot. I feel we want more margin, to be honest, to really trust it. The market's acting a bit sketchy as well. Luke, no, not in the moment, man. Back in Melbourne. Per accident, inside touch, previous candle. Yeah, there's no entry for me. I don't know. Intuition is kind of telling me to chill for a little bit. We don't really have the margin. I could add a zone just there. And if we're to wait for it to pop below that point, it's much cleaner. Tiani, for me right now, there is nothing. GJ not taking off the back of that. We're closed above the support. It's a 15-minute time frame as well. Using, yeah, nothing at the moment. Zul, sell. DJ. Mooks, buy. Yeah, I'm just chilling at the moment. But was right now it's at 30, but I do look more so at 15 and also at 5 a bit on gold. Pharmacist healthy buy now. Yeah, not for me. I don't have a catalyst to buy it. So once again, guys, I'm just doing me at the moment. I don't get, you know, influenced by someone else's opinion. I follow my plan, my rules, and yeah, just patiently waiting. I don't have anything. Brian, hello to you. Axon waiting to touch support. Yeah, potentially. Brian, yeah, I mean, you should be able to find it. Just, yeah, I gotta be really careful what I say because I'll get it banned. The American icon, what about Brian AI? No idea what it is, to be honest, mate. X-Prince, what will you do in this gold circumstance? So, just waiting to see now, waiting to see what happens. I'm happy that we've tapped into this level, so we don't necessarily need to tap into the lower level to form support at before I buy it. So need to probably see a little bit of consolidation or price action catalyst from the current level for a buy. And for the sells, I want it below that point, and it may come down to price action, pure price action on if this candle closes below in the following candle. So I prefer it to close below it, and then it will come down to how the following candle opens. Cracking YouTube, you guys are very, very quiet. If you could like fun, I would really appreciate it. I know that's honestly, I actually tried that years ago for trading. And it was when I was doing another sort of, well, another service. I gotta be really careful what I say in case I trigger the bot to ban me. I actually did give it a go before a session for a couple of months anyway. It did relax me a bit. But now it's just gotten to the point where I'm in total control of what I do, and I trust myself 100% when it comes to trading. I know I can't always win as much as you want to always win. It's just not gonna happen. Anyone who says they never lose, just run for the mountains. But I know my win rate is, you know, it's good. It's around the 8%. So I just need to patiently wait. Taps exactly patience. Guts for me to buy, and that's fair enough. If it's buy for you, then just follow your plan, my friend. TikTok right now, sell or buy. We'll see. Contemplating potential options to sell it in just under 5 minutes. And look at JJ now, guys. So still, that's the level. Popping back up, so we're just still consolidating. I know it's the way exactly. Just need to chill and patiently wait. Gula, there's a loss, but not a lot. Well, that's it if you manage your trade. Again, you need to be accepting of the risk you have involved on any particular given trade. So well done in that respect. You only trade UJ? Okay. Alright, so 4 minutes left on gold, and it looks like we may pop down, but I want to wait for that confirmation first of all. I want to wait for the closure blow. Then I want to wait for the upper wick. Now, we have retested that candle already, so I was going to look if there was a potential limit order. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for the 15-minute closure blow and wait to see how the new candle forms for any potential entries on the gold. Tabs, yeah, I try to go live every day on TikTok and YouTube, as long as I'm not being banned on TikTok. But yeah, YouTube for sure. Silver 92 sell potentially, but right now we're popping back above. So we've been killing it on these streams. Had a good start yesterday to the week. So again, it's just all about patience, guys. Not going to give in to anything half-assed in between. I'm just going to wait for my right confirmation. Tabs, I can't really send anything into the chat. You know, every time I do it, I get a ban. So you guys can be able to find it. You guys are intelligent enough. Yeah, just have a watch of my videos and that, and I'm sure you'll find it. Sniper pips, yeah, at the moment looks like it could. And again, when you're risking money, you want it to be perfect. I don't want to risk it on a half-assed entry like I mentioned. I want it to be something that I'm familiar with and I'm comfortable with. So the 30 is looking pretty good. We're finally getting that closure below, and we're not only closing below the 30-minute support, we're closing below the 15 support at the same time. So it's going to come down to the following candle. So I want it to melt in the last minute. So the last thing we want is for this thing to melt another 10-15 pips. Because the issue is stop loss is now really widening. You're gonna be looking at 30 pip stop minimum. Potential for about 25 pip move. It's definitely going to come down to how the candle opens. So make note of what the lowest point of the current candle is on your broker. The potential entry could be below that point, but it all depends how the new candle forms. So I really like for it to pop down a bit, then pop back up. Then we've got a way of managing this trade. It's popping straight up. Is there any limit order option? No. Not in my opinion. That would have been the option, but it's tapped into target. It's a tricky one. It's potential sells, it's there. If you guys are interested, that's what you'd be looking at. Sells just below the previous candle's low. You've retested that 15-minute level. I mean, I see markets looking around the 27 36.05 sort of level. I think it's about to break that. Man, I'm not in it again, guys. But that's your entry. I couldn't set up in time. That's the thing with scalping, guys. Sometimes it comes down to the last split second to wait for your confirmation, whether or not you're quick enough to get involved. sometimes it just doesn't happen. So I'm not in that move. That's the only, what I would say, it's probably about a B plus entry. But it's looking pretty good. So how I would manage this, you would have about 5 pip profit. I'd just adjust the stop loss to above the entry candle. So there's no need for it to pull back and break its own high. That way you've cut your stop loss by more than half. It's a good way of managing a trade. Yeah, so you'd have about 6 pips on the table. I'd contemplate going to break even shortly. Yeah, I'd be at break even. You'd have 8 pips on the table just now. Is what it is, guys. Unfortunately, I could not set it up in time, but that's your entry. I'd be at break even with 0 drawdown yet again. You're about to tap into 10 pips, which is generally TP, potential TP1. Yeah, so you'd be very close to securing TP1. There you go, there's your 10. So well done if anyone managed to get involved. Here's what it is, all good. Yeah, so there was the sell, guys. That was it. Sniper pips? No, not quite. That was pretty good, but it just popped up, popped down very quickly. I need to make sure I've got my entry right. So I need to make sure I've accounted for spread. In case I don't want to get tagged and dragged. I want to get involved with momentum once we've clearly broken low of that previous candle and we have the lower high, lower low. And sometimes with the volume, it just happens to move too quickly. And the reason why I could not set it right today is because I didn't know where the lowest point in this candle was going to be until the last 10 seconds or so. So that's the game of scalping. For me, the entry is below once you get that confirmation. We didn't have that confirmation until this candle closed. And it's just sometimes a split second. But nonetheless, good to see the analysis playing out, and yeah, I hope some of you got some profits. All right, Tommy. Yeah, so you'd be out break even now, Lorena, but nonetheless, good to see it work. Yeah, so if anyone got involved, let me know. That's full margin buy. No pips, but today it's up. If that's your plan, by all means. I'm fluid in the market, so I trade just what the chart's telling me at the particular time of day. That's what I do. I'm not fixated on one particular direction. There are particular days where I would focus on more so on looking for a buyer more so than a sell, and vice versa. But again, I trade based on pure price action at certain levels, and often what those levels are potential buy points or sell points. And in this case, the sell presented. JSP, are you pound stronger today than the dollar? I don't know, gee, looks like it's melting to me today. Yeah, it's gold, guys, gold, not Bitcoin. Yeah, so that was the potential entry, but nonetheless, it's come and gone. Here's GJ on the 30. You know what, guys, I've got things on. I've got to do some. It's hard for me to concentrate, so I'm answering. Got an important thing going on in the background at the same time. I'm gonna have to wrap it up, guys. Apologies. That was the entry on gold. I don't think anything's going to come in the next 30 minutes. What I'd be waiting for now is to see how price reacts to the support here, and for our support, and look for some sort of catalyst to buy it. Now, the preference for me, seeing we'll have daily, I mean, we've got that previous daily candle strong bearish, the current daily is forming strong bearish, the current weekly is forming strong bearish. I kind of want to see a little bit more than just a single candle catalyst from this particular level. This is something I went over in yesterday's education session with my members. Want to see it form a little bit of structure from this point here, and even if you can correlate for 4-hour closing back bullish at that support, that is a fantastic confirmation to begin to look for the buy options. If you can't wait for that, at least wait for a bit of consolidation on the 15-minute time frame, like so, and await the closure above it, retest, and that could be your potential option to buy it from the support. Otherwise, I'd be looking for pullbacks to sell it. Now we could, seeing we've broken through this support as well, could pull back up to that 27.38 and look for rejection of that point for some potential options to sell it. Yeah, that's pretty much it on gold. GJ, 15-minute may engulf, but it's not a 30-minute closure. This range is just trash at the moment. It's pretty much a write-off. You're looking, your options are best above the resistance or below this support, but you need to wait for the confirmations because we just keep rebounding from side to side at the moment. That is my opinion of GJ. Guys, I do appreciate the support as always. TikTok, you guys rock. Been killing it today, you guys, so appreciate it. Come back tomorrow. We'll be on tomorrow. Should be on tomorrow, actually. Yeah. Well, anyway, check it out. I should be on. Trade marker, why was that not an A+ entry on what gold? To me, it's not. That's unfortunately, that's something for the members to, they know, probably know why. For me, it wasn't. Yeah, it's more so the way the candle formed, the entry candle. I prefer it to pop down, then up, then back down. This popped straight up, straight down, very quickly. So, solid entry, but for me, it's not really A+. But yeah. So guys, if you could, hit that like button on the way out. Appreciate you all for joining. Make sure to follow if you're not following me. I'm pretty sure everyone on TikTok is following, seeing as the same amount of followers for viewers at the moment, up to over 90. So well done, guys. And yeah, have a watch of my videos. There's plenty of free education out there. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care, guys.
Thank you, man.
TikTok, appreciate it. YouTube, yep, Franco, man. We'll catch you guys in probably about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half from now. Members,
I will not be there, Justin. I'm out.
Mate.
I'm not there.
All good.
Yeah.
Not a problem. All right, guys. I think
Bye.
that's a wrap. See you, mate. I'll catch you guys probably tomorrow. See you later. Bye, my friends.